Wish you the best.
All right. Good evening. Thank you to everyone for coming out to the second town hall um, information gathering meeting for the new property on 555 150th Avenue and the jetty walkway down at South Beach. What we did is we took all the suggestions from the previous meeting last Saturday and tallied them up, and they're both on the boards. And that's where your Post-it notes will go after once the meeting's over, make sure you put your Post-its on there so we can take those into consideration as well. I won't go down them that, I'll leave it up to you to go up there and look at it. That way we don't skew your opinion or what you're going to suggest. So with that being said, I'd like to turn it over. We'll just go from table to table to table. Microphones are all on. You don't have to push any buttons. We made sure of that. There are sandwiches in the back. There's water and coffee in the lobby. So feel free to help yourselves. And with that, I'll turn it over to the Critelli and Kerr table.
You started with me. What I have to say, I think it's.
You have to talk into this.
I think it's a great day, a great thing there. I mean, it's going to be handsome to the city, something there. I mean, once it's done, it's a lot of money that we're spending now. You remember that, right? But when it's done and done, it might be a good asset for the city, you know. And also the jetty, I think the jetty, it's a most plus thing that we should have that done quick. I don't know why they got to it out. But the jetty, everybody was going fishing over there. Right now, they jump duck to ducks on my property. The kids go fishing because we got no place to go fish. Anyway.
So what would you
But
like,
yeah.
what would you like it to look like? What would you like
Well,
to do with
I don't know. It's by look. Wherever the architect or the engineer and the city pick, I guess. I don't know. I don't have no clue.
No ideas?
Well, make something beautiful. Nothing to say. John's Pass, Madeira Beach, was a fishing village. I'm here since 1979. Okay. It used to be a fishing village over here. So now we move it to a bigger thing, which is great. It's good because we need a bigger thing. And a reason for storm, you got second floor, you stay there. Third floor, fifth, and seventh. But also we got to think of another 10 years from now. How are we going to look Madeira Beach? Is it going to look nice in Madeira Beach? Hope so. I don't know if he'll be here. I'm 77. I don't know if he'll be here, but, I just said it. But I would like to see that the new future, the future kids that come on the ballpark and so on, they benefit also when they come over the bridge and they see this beautiful thing stand out, you see? So the architect should go and build something nice that stands out, and also for the storms. You got to watch the storm, but they don't blow it down. So that they build it with a 200-mile-an-hour wind and no 140, 135. But we have 140, 150 miles an hour wind. And that's all I have to say for this part. And then when you come back, I got something else to say. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Nothing. All right. Move on to the next table.
Hi, I'm representing Ron Pascuzzi, so that if I skewered the numbers, it's really not me. I'd just like to propose along the lines of the marina, a great way to earn them some income. Also would like to throw out the whole concept of continuing a boardwalk around all the way through over the overpass to the ocean and back, so that could have people who come to visit us can have an experience. We already have John's Pass, and we actually have a lot here in Madeira Beach of clusters. We have shopping, we have restaurants, we've got water sports, we've got fishing charters, we've got bars, we've got souvenirs. The agglomeration economics kind of says that the more that you have, if you kind of think of Disney World, Disney doesn't have one park in Orlando and one park in Jacksonville. they've got, 5 and 6 parks together. And when you have that kind of compact economic interest in one location, you're going to bring more and more tourists. Someone will come and spend a couple of hours at the beach and then they'll go home. They might come and spend a couple of hours at a restaurant and go home. But if you've got a restaurant and you've got shopping and you've got the beach and you've got the sunsets and you've got, let's say, an art-oriented eco-tourist destination within this marina concept, so a place where you could have centralized art and culture, local folks making pottery or local folks having displays of art. You could have the local schools or university art departments having a cultural experience on the wall. You could have competitions. You could have within the boardwalk locations that give education about our the marina, the life that lives in this area, the dolphins, the manatees, but also do it in a creative, artistic manner that will be an experience. So you go to the beach and then you walk across and then you walk through a lovely experience, an educational event. If we can also incorporate within this plot of land somewhere that has coverage so that you're also getting year-round cultural experiences. So it's not just 1 or 2 times a year that you're driving people to the area, but more monthly. And they'll come here and there may be a boat over to John's Pass so they can experience the shopping, the food and stuff there. So my suggestion, to sum it up, is obviously this is all in line with our master plan, which talks about beautification, placemaking, which is kind of what I just described with all of this, a process designed for public space that creates a cultural environment, boosting economic diversity, which right now we really don't have any art space per se, and enhancing the walkability aspect. All these are within our master plan. Thank you for listening.
I'll start by saying I was not at the first meeting, so I don't know a lot about what was discussed. And I will go on to say that my wife and I moved to Madeira Beach about 1.5 years ago. We bought a house right behind John's Pass. Before that, we've been in the Tampa Bay area. But even before we moved here, it was kind of a strange thing that we could not boat here. Meaning there are no docks. There's no docks at John's Pass that you can tie onto. There used to be gators. There used to be crabbies. None of that is usable. Just a few weekends ago, we dropped the boat in the water. We went up to Indian Rocks Beach and docked at their city docks for free. And you mentioned boating over to John's Pass. You can't do that. Now, maybe we can do that with this new property, but it's sort of far away. It's a little over 1 mile from John's Pass. It just feels like this might be an opportunity to put some public docks, bring in some boaters, some tourists, whatever. That's all I have.
I also was not at the first meeting. I'm Amber Jacks. I'm a resident here and a business owner. We actually have had a long relationship with the city. My company is Simple Weddings. We are facilities managers that help manage events at the city center here as well as at the rec center. And I've worked with the recreation department for a long time. I've actually done weddings for the former mayor, for other staff members. And since the hurricanes, there's been a vacuum of good event space. We lost the Lions Club. We lost the Civitan. And this is a destination wedding market. Those destination weddings bring a significant amount of income to our beach communities. When we did numbers recently for a project, just one small wedding with 25 guests will generate over $50,000 of revenue for the area. And there's a process for that. In working with, and we actually helped when these buildings opened, I lived in the yacht club across the street and was here to help with the opening of these buildings, and I saw the process that went into this. The challenge that we have with the space is in creating an event space, Those spaces are often designed by people who are not event planners. And so we are tasked then with trying to market a space that doesn't serve the needs or the purpose well. Even the recreation department struggles with the recreation facility because it's actually not well designed for children. So having people involved in the process who actually do the work that the building is supposed to, or the site is supposed to host, would be helpful. A prime example, Boca View Hall, lovely views, great facility, very hard to sell from an event standpoint because there are literally 2 outlets in that entire room. So it creates a logistical challenge. When looking at those spaces, knowing that we have this vacuum of need that could help increase tourism as well as resident use, having space that is truly designed for multi-event purposes, whether that is concerts, recreation, weddings, large conferences. All of those would drive revenue and create opportunities for resident use. So I think the crucial thing is when planning gets to the stage that we actually bring in people who are going to be working in those spaces. Architects and site developers don't do weddings. They don't understand the details that go into that. They're not recreation directors. So having those voices and that input, I think, will make the spaces more user-friendly and actually flourish and operate more efficiently. So that would be my input on that. I'm pretty open as to what, but I would certainly like to see some event space be there to help draw and fill this need that we have now with the destruction of some of these other sites. So.
Hello all. My name is Paul Tilka, and I'm a longtime resident of Madeira Beach. My family moved here when I was 4 years old, and that was 1947 or 48, something like that. So my parents had a home on 145th Avenue, and it was the 3rd house on that fill at that time. So I got to play in a lot of open areas, and there wasn't much going on. A lot of things have changed over the years, of course, but I think the one thing I'm trying to figure out is how to make the thing pay for itself or pay out in a better way. I don't think that our marina currently is profitable at all compared to other possibilities. And that possibility in my mind would be having RV hookups together with the marina. And if you're gonna run a power stations for boats and water to boats, there would be no extra effort basically to put in a pylon for some guy to pull his motorhome in and utilize that. I don't really think you would even have to have a sewer hookup, because you could have a dump station like many RV places do. There's a town just north of Savannah, Georgia, called Tybee Island. They have I think 120 space RV park that the city owns. The city purchased it and has been running it for years and years, and it's profitable to them. I think I'd like to absolutely compare a little bit about the marina to RV hookup, whereas let's say a 30-foot boat in the marina at let me get to my point here. At $13.50 amounts to $405 a month. Annual income would be $4,850. I was told that the waiting list is 5 years to get a slip in the marina currently. So basically what I see there is everything's underpriced in the marina. That if you had a 5% vacancy rate, would be good to bring new people in at a higher rate. And I see all the boats that were anchored off by the school for a long time. They all got scooped up and crunched up, and they're out of here. So when some guy has a boat in a marina, and a lot of those boats are quite old, and I don't know what kind of shape they're in, but eventually when he can't pay the rent anymore on the slip, he's gonna go anchor it out in the bay and adios. So that's one thing I see. But if we were to, let me see where I'm at on my list. Yeah, our marina has 75 slips at $13.50 a month. As I said, $48.60 a year. If we had an RV park, and I checked 3 of them, and I'll take an average of $160 per day for an RV hookup, would amount to $4,800 a month, or $57,000 a year for each RV spot. And that I can't imagine it costs just a tad bit more than hooking power up to a dock it would be to put in an RV spot. So the Cambria Hotel, my son looked up today, is $312 a day. The Hilton's $250 a day, and the Holiday Inn over by Walmart is $125 a day. We could fall with an RV spot somewhere in the middle, or wherever it would work best. But I think we're going to have to consider making some money on the expenditure that we made, or have enough income coming in to develop it. And I don't know how everybody would like to go, but I would like to see the space remain mostly vacant, mostly open space. And maybe palm trees and a few things, but at some point when you want to have an event there, you just don't take reservations for the RVs. The boats will be there and remain there, but that would permit us to have festivals and fairs and many other kind of activities on a big open area. I really strongly feel we don't need a restaurant or any big development there. That's a lot of money. The city doesn't need to be in a restaurant business. I mean, it would end up in somebody's hands that you really have no control over. So that was that portion. What else? The 2 things. One, a lot of RV campgrounds now are not permitting motorhomes or any campers over 10 years old. And many, many RV parks that we go to, it's now online. It's you register, pay your fee online. It would not take a staff particularly to oversee the people coming in. We were told go to spot number 34 and you find your own and hook it up, and we've already charged our fee for the campground and whatever. And my son's saying, oh, you have to have a swimming pool, you have to have this, you have to have that. Well, we've got a beach and many other, John's Pass and many other things around where I don't think we need a swimming pool or a restaurant or anything. I think big, wide open space for now, maybe down the road. One other thought I had is our bridge is where was that? Our bridge was built in 1962. 1962. It's ready to be replaced. I don't know where we stand on the list as far as bridge replacement goes, but if we could encourage the state to think about a high up, Basque Bridge, like Clearwater Beach, you drive over, it would give an enormous amount of room underneath, perhaps even to have a roadway over to the north side of the properties. So those are basically my ideas. There was on the land years ago a large marina, a high and dry marina that I would say, I think around 1964 it burned to the ground one night. We had a volunteer fire department and they couldn't do a thing. It just a metal building and all the boats burnt to the ground, and that was the end of the marina there. Since then, we've had two really good restaurants. We've had Gene's Lobster House and Leverock's, and they were both pretty good restaurants, but I'm not in favor of that because I don't know. It's just me, and what do I know? One other thing I just bring up real quick is I do have a YouTube channel that I put aerial photographs of Madeira Beach. They're aerial photographs that was before this land existed, before Crystal Island existed, before Bay Point Drive existed. So take a look at that. It's Madeira Beach Nostalgia. So it'll give you an idea where we've come from. And the last thing I want to say is the beach groyings that are in. That saved Madeira Beach. When I was a little kid, the high tide mark was right up to behind the buildings and the hotels, and it was critical that we install those groyings. They weren't pretty, but they saved Madeira Beach as far as I'm concerned. Otherwise, it would have eroded by now all the way to on this side of Gulf Boulevard. So I think those are basically the points I want to make. I do have other information regarding the RV park and different, if it's $100 a day, if it's $160 a day, if it's $200 a day. But any of those will make us money that we really need. So I don't know what else to say.
Thank you. Thank you. Good job. Good job.
Thanks.
Hi, my name's Michael Alter. I was here at this first town hall on Saturday, and I heard a lot of amazing ideas from people. Stuff that I'd only thought of in my imagination. You know, everything from a bench with some shade to a full-blown water park with slides and cool stuff. You know, it's neat to see the community thinking about this, but not to beat a dead horse, but we have in Pinellas County, the largest inflow of tourism is not Chicago, it's not New York anymore, it's from Orlando. It's people coming to the beach, and Madeira Beach is number 2 right behind St. Petersburg for tourism coming in. And so I think back to at the end of October, some friends of mine came to town. They brought a 9-year-old little girl, Juliet. And the first thing they wanted to know what to do as soon as they got over coming from the West Coast, a little jet lag, we came to Madeira Beach, we came to John's Pass, and I watched money flow out of my buddy's pocket faster than I've seen it in 30 years. And it was a family wandering around, having a wonderful time in an amazing place. And so, you know, I want Tyler back next year and his daughter back next year and the year after and the year after that. In building something that continues what Madeira has and complements John's Pass, complements the jetty remodel, and builds, like you were saying, a critical infrastructure that is a critical mass that keeps people here, keeps them interested, and is family oriented, right? It's grandpa all the way down to that 9-year-old who's running around that needs an ice cream, needs a sweatshirt, needs some appetizers, and needs a giant pretzel shaped like a crab. You know, the other big thing is the existing parks that are here that have all these wonderful events. making sure that this space, because it's 4.5 acres, it's big. You know, dedicating things to where events can happen. Maybe it's not entirely an open park, but where we can backflow and keep that inflow to complement Archbold, to complement Rock Park. So, thank you.
Good evening again. As I'm doing all of this, has anybody thought of, or in terms of doing a dartboard thing as to what kind of time frame you're looking to do here? We've got this program going up on with Madeira Beach, what's gonna be happening with it. So maybe do we hold that off for right now, and include this in our future outlook? Because it's a major change. And as somebody had said on Saturday, having a trolley service from there to Johns Pass. I mean, you know, some great ideas. And with the future of Madeira Beach still kind of being determined, maybe we could put that on hold, and include this in our new future. And some great ideas, but ultimately, we gotta generate money for it. So it's gotta pay for itself somehow. All wonderful ideas about all these great things, but it's gotta generate money to pay for it. Thank you.
Hey everyone, Mike Wyckoff here, longtime resident too. I've been here since 1980, so I've seen a lot of changes. Actually went to Madeira Beach Middle School, so that's how far I go back. First of all, I want to congratulate our city leaders and staff on acquiring this property. I know there's been questions about the value of it, but I'm in the real estate business, and I can tell you it was a very fair deal. I brought a development group to that property a few years ago that offered well north of $20 million, and it was turned down by the owners at that time. So the price is not out of line. So congratulations on getting this marquee piece of property for the benefit of the residents. I think it's a great piece of property. Regardless of what we do with it, it's a benefit to the city. So congratulations on that. But to the point of, we're a little city surrounded by water. We have nowhere to go in a boat where you can stop, right? So I think that should be one of the hallmark pieces of this piece of property, is somewhere where we have a destination for boaters to come. We have people from Orlando. They drag their boats over here. They want to spend the weekends here. They want to be out on the water, and then they want to go somewhere to eat and spend all their money. We should give them the opportunity to do that. And this is an opportunity for the city to get a return on their investment if this is put together properly with something like a destination resort-style restaurant where there is some attraction to keep them there for a period of time, some sort of shuttle link between there and Johns Pass Village, so people can utilize both of those major tourism draws that we have, incorporating some version of the community arts, which we are severely lacking up and down the beaches. A lot of great points have been brought out. A lot of those things can be incorporated. Whether a water park fits there, I think it'd be awesome if it did, because I can tell you that the one up in Indian Rocks Beach is a smashing success. And something like that here would be a great draw to get people to stay here. Imagine coming up in your boat with your kids and being able to dock for the day and them in a water park and having a great time after going to the beach, and then they go to the fresh water and have a great time. So there's a lot of great things that can be involved in this. Another thing is to consider, we're a fishing village. We've been a fishing village. We're not a lot of fishing centric activities anymore. Be really great to have, even if it's a small one, a charter boat center where people can book charters. If you've ever been down in the Keys, you go to Charter Boat Row. We could have a smaller version of that. That's all money-making opportunities for the city that also benefit our local residents that are small business owners, that are fishermen, that are running charters and things like that. So I've got my little sticky note. I'll be happy to put it up there later with some ideas, but those are just some of the things I'd like to throw out there, and congratulations to our city.
Hi, my name is Bob Bello. So I really didn't come with any specific ideas what I think should be there. I'm just looking at it more from perspective of taxpayer, business person, things along those lines. And, you know, what was kind of said by a couple people here, what type of return will the city get? Probably, I think maybe it would be useful to have some sort of economic study to determine, with some of the ideas, what type of return they could get. Because, you invest 18 million, that's just the beginning. So if you're making less than $1 million a year on that property, you're doing something wrong probably. So we got to be conscious of, this was an investment in the taxpayers' money. We should be getting a fair return. Investment grade, leases and things along those lines for, clients like, Walmart, Home Depots, things along those lines, they're over 5%. So again, we should be making $1 million a year, whatever we do. And the city, I don't know the city has the staff to really, some of the ideas where it might have to be running a business, and I don't know that that's really what we should be doing versus more along the lines of a ground lease and have somebody else develop. Maybe we do a part of it, or a triple net lease where we do develop some of it, and then, but we have to get, investment grade tenants there that'll provide a fair return on our taxpayer money. Let me see about anything else. So we'll just see where it goes. I'm excited to hear all the ideas and see what actually transpires, because I think if we make the right pick, it will be an amazing, crown to the city. So.
Hi, I'm Bill Carnes, resident here in Madeira Beach. I want to address Paul's comment about the fixed span bridge. And when I developed this development here, the Madeira Beach Town Center, one of the things we worked with was with FDOT to do a fixed span bridge. Crazy enough, the bridge would have to start at Doomy Road. And it would end up just before you get to Gulf Boulevard. That's how much distance you need to do one of those. So that was just something that couldn't be done. Obviously, we would have loved to have seen it, because you drive into Bel Air, where you get up on those fixed Terra Verde, beautiful views when you're up there, but we just don't have the span to do something like that. I'm a big believer in the boating community that we live in, and to Mike's comments, a lot of people from Central Florida come here, they bring their boats, they'll spend the weekend here. I've got a couple of marinas that we own here in the city, and one of the things that surprises me, I'm getting $28 a foot for my slips, not $13.50. $28.50 a foot, and I've got a waiting list. And we just purchased another marina right here behind the Cambria, and we're going to renovate that and put a building up there. It's I see it as a very active marina destination for people to go to. I'm a huge fan of the water park. I've seen the success of the one at the Holiday Inn. That's a very small one. Generates a tremendous amount of revenue, and it's not a lot of cost. You could do something really cool there. I've seen them where they elevate it and they have parking underneath. You have all that parking, then you have the wave pool and the slides and the little lazy river thing, and kind of an amazing thing that you would see when you come over the bridge into Madeira Beach. That's a tourist town. I'm so blessed that I get to live here every day, and people save their money all year long to come and visit us for a week. So I'm a big fan of tourism. It's a huge part of the economic driver. To what Bob said, triple net leases are great. If you want to have a restaurant there, City's not in the restaurant business. Down in Key West, all of the waterfront properties are owned by the city of Key West. Duval Street, about 70% of those properties are owned by the city of Key West. They're all set up on triple net leases that generate unbelievable amount of revenue to the city. So my feelings, I'd like to see a combination of things. I'd like to see an active marina that charged a fair price for the people to come. Transient slips we have at both of our marinas. Those transient slips pay almost double a month of what someone pays for a monthly rent. And the turnover, they keep full. I'd like to see a nice restaurant. How nice would it be to take your boat and go, you know, I like to go to Salt Rock Grill, but I go there, if there's not one slip on the end, you gotta go down, down the intercoastal, find another restaurant, because it's all full of fishing boats in there. So I think a restaurant on a triple net lease with a national tenant, I think that's a win for the city. You talk about $18 million, a great price. I know because I had offered to buy that property and it was substantially more than $18 million. The key is to have it where the operational expenses for the city are minimal and put the onus on the people that are responsible. If it was the restaurant, if it's the marina, the city'd have to take care of. But water park, you could third party that out to an operator, have a triple net lease. You could do a ground lease where a company would come in and build the whole thing, doesn't cost anything. A lot of opportunity. I think it's a great buy that the city made. I'm really proud of our commissioners and our mayor for doing an outstanding job. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Mike Marsh. I don't really have too much to say. I think when I hear all the good ideas, my main thoughts go to how to make it work. So my first thought is any ideas has to be about getting to it and getting away from it. And right now, being that close to the bridge, I keep thinking about someone coming over not in a boat. I can't picture that going that well. Like anytime you'd want to get in there, you'd have to go traffic. Like the traffic just wouldn't flow. And then the other thing I think about is neighbors. And obviously on one side you have the marina. And so anytime you create something, you have to think about who you're next to and how that goes. So I don't know how that does go, but that's my first thought. Like as he's talking about putting RVs or whatever, my first thought is, well, where are the RVs facing? And if they're facing, I don't know how it's going there and how that's cleaned up. But from a business standpoint, I know that's a huge issue that you think about who's in proximity and if you don't have control of that. So any ideas as they get put in, you have to think about how you get there. Not just, it is making money, but how you sustain that. So it does seem like the water entrance is the best from what I've heard. In my opinion, it feels like that's the thing you should be trying to bank it on because anything else is going to run into a lot of other issues. Yeah.
My name is Dorothy Lawton. I live over on Harbor Drive, and I did not go to the meeting on Saturday and didn't know what to expect this evening, but just had a few comments on some of the things I've heard. Foremost in my mind has always been that when you come across that bridge, I'd like to see something that's nice to look at, because currently it is not nice to look at. So whatever we do, that's all I ask. It's the first impression of the city. I do think it needs to be nice to look at. I'm not opposed to a water park. I think you have a very good point about what are the people in those condos going to say about having a water park, because I know the people on the other side of my street are constantly complaining about the lights from the rec center, so that would be something to consider. I love the idea of, well, first off, let me say, I think whatever we do should complement John's Pass, not compete with John's Pass. So having any kind of shops or that kind of stuff, that's competition with John's Pass. I love the idea of the ferry could run back and forth for people, but it needs to complement, it needs to be something that we don't have, that we're lacking in the city, that doesn't compete with John Pass, that we can add, such as arts or recreation, or I'm particularly drawn towards the boating aspect because we don't really have that. There aren't a lot of places in this area where you can pull up and go to a restaurant. There's some, but, and then my final thought is that I think it's most important that we do our due diligence and analysis. And I've only lived here since 2012, but I've just seen so many times where the city has gone into something and not done their due diligence, and it ends up being a problem down the road. We enter into contracts that don't work out. It's just, so that would be my only thing, is let's make sure we do our due diligence, that whatever we put in there is going to be what fits, what's going to be profitable, or at least defer some of the cost of running it, and that it looks nice when we come across the bridge.
I just want to say something. I'm very struck by your comments. I do agree that it needs to look nice, but I have a long history of Madeira Beach. I've been here since a kid. I'm now a resident. But every time I go across that bridge, I am so proud to come in. And I see what we have representing our firemen. I see our Heroes Park. And that is uplifting for me every day.
Well, that is, yeah.
And so I'm wondering what we're missing there and why we don't think it, we're not looking at something nice when we're coming in.
It's just an empty lot.
Yeah. Oh, on the other side. Oh, the other side, yeah. Yeah, okay. But I just want to say that, when you go in and you see what we have there, that is something very, very special. I don't think very many beach communities have. Yeah, okay.
Let's do the same on the other side.
Do the same on the other side. I totally agree with that. Thank you.
All right, any final comments regarding the development of the new property? Going once? Not yet. And that's all, I can't remember who spoke on this, but they were suggested delaying the development of it, and right now, I don't think we should. I mean, we're post-storm, the city staff, we're working so many hours every week. We're able to take this project on, and it's gonna take a long time before, next we're gonna get like artist renderings, and then, we're gonna decide, and it's gonna take a while before we can even put a shovel in the dirt and begin to construct anything. So, given that, I feel like as time goes on, one project will get completed, and then we'll be, give more time for a new project, new development, whatever it may be. I'm not a fan of delaying it, but, we work at the direction of the board. So, is that it for the new property? All right. Then the second topic is the jetty walkway down at Johns Pass South Beach Park. Everybody knows it was damaged pre-Helene. It was taken out, finished off by Helene. It was removed. Now we need to decide what we want to do with it. I get there's only so much we can do, but again, I'm not going to influence anybody's suggestions or opinions on what was said at the last meeting. I'll leave it to you all to make your suggestions again. Yeah.
So just to clarify, we did meet with Army Corps on the walkway, and what we have been told by Army Corps, DEP, and then also pretty much Pinellas County is that the sidewalk will have to be ADA. So whatever we do replace there, more than likely, because as we all know that sand moves down there, that sand is not always where it is currently. So we will have to put a handrail along the whole entire thing, which is probably about 650 feet of handrail. If anybody's been to Patriot Park, to the new docks since we constructed those, I believe it was last year, I can't remember. But those are ADA handrails that are along those docks. So that will be pretty much what we would have to install as well over there. And one option was to also put in fishing rod holders. So just want to put that out there, so just so everyone knows that if the decision is to put it back, that it will have a handrail.
Right. Where's the, can you grab that? Yeah, the microphone box, squawk box. We'll start at the first table again like we did for the first topic.
Guy Critelli again. Yes, I think that Jerry should be going in regardless cost or whatever. I think we got money from the state, from the FEMA or whatever, no? Did we get money from FEMA for the last of the jetty?
So the jetty structure itself, what you see in the pictures up on the screen, that's a federal asset. That's.
Did we get any money from them? That's what I asked you. Do we get
No.
any federal funds from that?
Not specifically for the jetty, no.
Not specifically for the jetty. Okay. Well, how are we gonna get the money to build this jetty then?
Well, that's what we need to discuss. What do we want there? Because we can't make a blanket request for, let's say, state appropriations or whatever without a plan. So that's what we need to discuss is what final decision, what do we want? And then if we go to apply for grants or state appropriations or whatever it may be, different funding sources.
Well, I got one.
We have an idea.
Yeah,
That's what we're presenting to them.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I got an idea. Since you're gonna build that and you're gonna probably going to have some type of bank draft or bank money account or whatever we gotta do, why don't we build that parking garage there, join with the walkway, with the jetty, that benefit John's Pass also, because John's Pass, it's a big thing for the city. John's Pass is #1 destination. John's Pass it's dying because no parking. I mean, I've been talking about this here for 25 years, 30 years now. Since we bought the property on the village. We haven't gotten no answer for nobody. Oh yeah, we do it. Now we buy this piece of property, $18 million, but John's Pass is down the line.
Well,
They can bring you a lot of revenue.
Yeah, and for the respect of everyone's time, Mr. Critelli, we just want to focus on the jetty walkway.
All right, but that, I think it's be better.
I agree.
Build and join the two together, build a parking garage right there and the walkway.
And if we ever get to that, there'll probably be a town hall for that as well.
No, I don't have anything to say. Thank you, though, believe it or not.
Anybody here? Okay, there you go.
I don't, my only comment is it's such a great place to fish. So whatever we do, let's make sure that people can fish there, because I think that's really important to a lot of residents and tourists. My only comment.
Agreed.
My question is, would it require a handrail on both sides?
Yes, sir. According to Army Corps, and it was when I got in this seat, it was a hot topic item, and I got with Director Wetfer and said, let's get everybody in the same room, let's figure this out, what's the holdup kind of thing, and she was able to coordinate with 8 different aspects of Army Corps engineering, and that was their direction, that it has to have ADA compliance now. It has to be brought up to ADA compliance, and even if it was left in the condition it was in previously, it would still have to be brought up to ADA compliance.
I see.
What if we did nothing?
What if we do nothing? That's a great suggestion as well. I've been down there a few times over the course of about 3 weeks, and I've seen no less than 4 people on the jetty fishing, and as many as up to 10. So, I said it in the first meeting, people are using it more than they ever have just because they have the access to, but that's why we're doing this, because we just want to make sure we get everybody's input on it.
Is there any liability to the city for injuries if we don't do it?
Not right now, not at this point as it sits.
Yeah, well, I think we ought to leave it.
me. I got nothing to say.
I like the let's do nothing, but sounds good to me. Price is right.
We got another published.
Good.
Anyone else want this?
All right. Any final comments regarding anything, Mayor, Commissioners? Would you like to close us out here with some last words?
Ooh, it's on. I just want to say thank you for everybody who came out tonight. It's a school night, right? And it's just wonderful to get all the input and to hear what the residents, how you feel and what you'd like to see. So I'm excited to see our next steps once everything's compiled and the commission can start talking about what we've gotten. We also got a lot of input from the conversations with the mayor. And we have one tomorrow at the Bamboo at 12 o'clock if you want to come and bring a neighbor to have some additional conversation and comments.
Good evening, David Taglerini, Commissioner District 1. As Mayor said, I am just very impressed with the creativity of our residents. I was here last Saturday and I thought I had all these great ideas, but no, everybody else had the same ideas and better, and I feel that same way here. I'm really energized from your creative ideas. I would like to say that if you have other discussions you want to have, you don't have to be in District 1. I have an emailing distribution list that I'd love to have you on. Email me at dtaglerini@madeirabeachfl.gov. I don't expect you to remember it, but it's on the website under Commissioners. You can email me there, add you to my distribution list. And I only send out 1 or 2 emails a month reminding you about things like this and also topics that you would need to know about our Board of Commissioners meeting. So again, thank you all so much for being here.
Hello, everyone. Eddie McGeehan, District 3, right here in Madeira Beach. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay. I understand. Thank you very much. I just want to thank everyone for coming out tonight. We've had a really good group of people, core group of people come out and give great ideas. And I'm really excited about the purchase of the property and what we can do in the future as an investment for not only our generation, but for future generations to come. You know, there's some great ideas tonight. And even the lady sitting next to Paul, I forget your name, but with the jetty, you know, that was a great idea also. Yes. Nice to meet you. So, yes, thanks for coming out, everyone. Thank you.
And to just wind it up, I must have said at the wrong table. Ray Kerr, District 2. Great ideas. Without these meetings, we wouldn't have considered half of the input that's been brought up, and I really appreciate that. And I really appreciate Mike and Bill letting us know their thoughts on the value of the property as well, because the board believes it was a great once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, but to put it in a public space from people in the know that are in that business, it means a lot, so appreciate that. But thanks to everyone.
Yeah, again, thank you, everyone. And to close this out, just for the development of the new property, the ideas tonight mirrored the ones from Saturday, so it didn't extend the list any. So we appreciate that. Oh, it did. Oh, RV. That was the one that extended it. Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Oh, I'm sure. So the question was, is the city going to do any feasibility studies on the new property? And I believe that's just going to be part of the development of it.
There's a lot of companies that, you know, do feasibility studies for just about anything you can think of you want to build there to see if it makes. Got yelled at last time by Mayor Brooks at the city meeting too, so I'm getting used to it. No, I was saying feasibility studies, you know, we do them on just about every development we do to see if whatever you want to do makes financial sense on there. And that's all. I just wondering if you guys were planning on do that. Obviously, put a bunch of ideas together, you can do a bunch of renderings and people can get a good idea of what it's gonna look like, but want to make sure that what you do isn't a financial mistake for the city, and that's where that
Absolutely.
feasibility study would come in handy. Thank you.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you, everyone. I'm sure we'll have another meeting regarding this sometime in the future, so we'll keep everybody updated on that, and thank you again.
Thank you, Chief.